Hey, welcome to the ride. It's Smart CEO Thursdays, right here at the Cutting Edge. You listen to the Cutting Edge on Edge Radio Network, and I'm your host, Al Roundtree, aka Tree, aka Mr. Social Baby again. I don't care what you call me. As long as you give me a shout, I want to send a shout out to everybody watching us on Facebook, streaming on Instagram channels, YouTube, internet, and also checking us out on the air, 1540 AM, 101.7 FM. Feel free to give us a call at 281-587-1540. And as always, I got my special guest in building, our contributor, as always, with Smart CEO Thursdays, Miss Kyra Hardwick. What's going on, Kyra?
Hey, what's up, Al?
Listen, I already know you turned up today. You've already expressed that you had some coffee.
I have a really good coffee.
Yeah. Okay. So I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared for you to walk in here on some caffeine today.
And I've been getting in like 4, almost 5 miles a day.
What?
Listen. Oh,
what?
Yeah. Oh, it's for real.
Running, jogging? What's going on?
I'm walking. I'm not running on concrete.
Oh, okay.
Right now.
Okay. I thought you was ready for a marathon. I just thought you was ready for the. No?
I'm doing a brisk walk.
Okay.
A very assertive pace.
Okay. An assertive pace. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm.
Consistency.
I don't know if I've ever heard anybody say they were doing an assertive pace when it came to exercising.
What do we normally say?
It's not assertive.
Oh.
I know that.
I'm different. Assertive with my walk.
Yeah, clearly, that's what's really going on.
This is king right now. Like keeping your heart healthy, keeping your mind clear, keeping your body.
Absolutely,
it's important right now.
Absolutely, which I feel like is so important. Given for COVID, like I think that's one of the things, which is crazy. Like we have not talked about this.
Okay.
There's all this stuff in the media about how many deaths there are, how many people have it. A vaccine that's coming out, all of those things. But you never hear comments about what you could do to boost your immune system, to help you stay stronger and that sort of thing. And because it's been documented that, staying healthy, active, even when you've been diagnosed with a positive result and people that may be sick, staying, still and not moving is not helpful in dealing with it.
Right. So one of the things they're saying is if you have the antibody, then you have the ability to fight a little bit stronger and harder. Your body's more resistant to the onset of what the symptoms do to take over your body, so to speak, like kind of that back end effect. I'm by all means not a physician. However, one of the things we've been doing, what I did right away, is I got with my girl at the Juju Products, and she was giving me like immune boosters. So I'm taking immune booster shots like on the front end. We're steaming at home, like that was early months or whatever, just trying to build up because I didn't understand it. And I'm not like the best when it comes to like all the holistic stuff I should be doing. I don't have a cabinet full of like turmeric and thyme and all that stuff, but I probably need to. This made me think about like all the little things I needed to do to like have those emergency kits available because I gave them to my kids. My kids and I were popping shots. I'm like, shot, let's get it. We did.
No. You weren't singing.
I was. We were popping immune boosting shots.
No, we weren't doing that. You were not doing that. You were not doing that.
But it helps. It helps.
So it's important because I tell people that I've known that have been diagnosed with it. Man, you gotta stay active.
Yes.
Stay. Go work out. Go run. Go sweat. Go work up. Build some sort of sweat. Get your heart racing a little bit. I think it's very important. Anytime that because anytime you've been sick, that's what you should do. Like when I was training, and playing ball, or whenever I would get sick, I would always go to the sauna and just sit in the steam room and just sweat it out.
Yes, it's one of the things. I'm gonna tell you. We have this group text going on, and my mom, she lights us up. She's like, "This needs to be on your grocery list this week. Y'all all need to fight." So she's got all her kids and her grandkids on there. She's telling us what to get from the grocery store, like the stuff we do, or your grandmother did. Like keep stuff for stock for a broth, things that will help flush your system. Keep things like watermelon and fruits that flush, that are naturally cleansing. those are the things you need to keep in your body, because the more junk you have in your body, the less fight your body has, right? So the more you can do to keep it clear. And you're right, sweating and fighting through that is one of the best things. I remember 2 years ago, I got what I thought was like the worst case of the flu I've ever had, right? And I was like out, like passed out, fell, like done. Like I was down for like 3-4 days. No, I was probably down for a week. And it was scary. As a business owner, it was super scary because I'm like, wow, this is the reality of what could happen if something happens to me. My team took over amazing. It was so amazing. I could rest. But as soon as I could fight, like I was down, but as soon as I could fight, I'm like, I gotta work out. I've got to do something to build my system back up, because I was super weak. I didn't have an appetite. I'm taking in all this medicine. And I was like, I have to win. I can't go down. But that's how it is.
So, saying all this is you just talked about it as being a business owner and stuff. How does, your health and the importance of your health and you staying strong physically relate to or correlate to your business?
Man, it's huge. And so, okay, so can I just have a little confessional moment here? So like,
go right ahead.
So like the first 3 years of business, I was so unhealthy. I was up till 2 a.m. I'd be up at 5. My sleep was terrible. My eating was probably really, really bad because I was eating as I could or on the go or packages in the car. And I'm just in the moment of constant movement because my mind is racing faster than my hands can go. And I just had poor habits. My sleep was really bad. I hired a trainer, Chelsea, bless his heart. I'd be in there trying to hold my planks, tears falling. He thought it was sweat. I think he knew I was bawling because I was like, I have to be able to fight through this. I wanted to be physically strong. And I'm going to just say this. I've always been a thick chick, so this is not new information. But for me to be healthy was what I wanted. Back in the day when I was a fit model, that was a part of my lifestyle. Like I worked out consistently. So when I got away from that and got into a place where I didn't realize how much weight I had gained. So it was stress, it was poor sleeping, it was random eating habits, and it was just toxic. So the first 3 years of business, I walked into this really toxic space. And so the last 2 years, it's been like, okay, let's release that. Let's get your habits back on track. And even, you're doing well when your trainer hits you up and you haven't been working out. And he was like, girl, you're doing good. Like, I can see the difference. And it's just releasing that toxic and bad behavior. So your health is critical to the success of your business. I don't care how great I sound. I might not have felt well, right? I didn't feel well. Your body starts to tell you things. Even now, about 2 Saturdays ago, I was feeling like, I don't feel amazing. And I'm like, okay, I have to respond to that. So I crawled back in the bed on a Saturday, and I'm a high energy kind of girl. So crawling back in the bed is like torture. And I did. I was like literally in my PJs all day, like really chilling. Like you have to respond to your body.
Right.
You have to respond to your mind. I'm getting a headache. I'm like, something's not right. I need to take care of myself. So I'm sipping tea. I'm doing all the things I think I need to do to say, okay, let's get Kyra back on track. Stopped because I used to pass that up because it was so subtle. Like it's like a little ripple. It didn't really even, only because I'm conscious and conscientious about it now, did I even notice it. But as a business owner, there's so much before me. I have to stay strong, and I can't provide great direction or insight if I'm not clear. I'm stuttering over my words. I don't have clarity. Like there's so many other things that go into that. You're missing steps on your finances. You're missing steps on your client delivery if you're not rested and well. So how does it impact a smart CEO? Your health is the most important thing you have, period, to work on. And you need to spend the time. You don't have to be in the gym every day. You don't have to do all that. Take care of your vessel. Your mental, your physical, the whole thing. Yeah.
We only get one.
We get this one. And it's an amazing tool. It's an amazing vehicle.
You don't get it on do-overs either.
Listen, I haven't heard one do-over story yet.
It's not happening. That's why, it's not happening at all. And It's crazy how a lot of things that are happening with this COVID and just everything else that's going on is really making you look at and kind of do an analysis of things and see where everything is right now, whether it's from a health standpoint, dealing with just staying fit, and whether you're riding a bike, whether you just and I think, but it also helps from a mental capacity, like you mentioned. Just being physically fit helps you mentally be able to just think and clearly process. Sometimes people say that I don't know if I've ever felt this way, but just being out there, you catch a second wind, it's just like really freeing, and it's like a release. I can't say that I've ever worked out and felt like it was a release for me.
Really?
No, not at all. I mean, because you working, like for me it's a different type of workout though too. So like you're not casually just working out or just out for a nice jog.
I was lifting and doing all kind of crazy stuff.
No, playing football like it's intense.
Training for football.
Yeah, it's it's intense. It's not it's not for the faint of heart. It's not no easy work. It's like you really you get
it's work.
Yeah.
No, you were actually at work when you were working out.
Yes.
I was
absolutely.
not at work. I'm not at work
Absolutely.
at 6:30 in the morning. I'm walking assertively with my walking buddy.
Yeah.
And having great dialogue. And it's so cool. Here's another added benefit, and just getting a sneak peek into the Smart CEO life is I've formed some really cool relationships with people that I probably would have bulldozed past in my past because I've slowed down. And I saw a meme the other day. It was saying, I thought 2020 was the year where I would gain all this, new stuff. And it was really the year that I learned to appreciate what I had. And I coined this year. I try to give every year like purpose. So I remember like getting down to December 31st and I was like, what's this year going to be for me? Like, what is it? What am I owning? And I was like, this is the year of acquisition. I was like, really? Acquisition? Okay. So acquiring. And there's no defined, list of what you're going to acquire. But guess what we've acquired? I've acquired such an appreciation for life. I've slowed down on the journey. I've gotten to appreciate the journey. I'm like, the delicacies of it, and I think my friends probably think I'm a little woo-woo, because sometimes I'm like, you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
This was the most... Probably, Al.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, this was the most amazing experience, you guys. I just experienced X, Y, Z, and they'll be like, okay. I'm like, no, you don't understand. And 'cause for me, I've missed all of that kind of stuff because I would always be on like this hamster wheel. So now I slow down and I'll send little text messages like, this just happened and I'm so grateful. They're like, that's great.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yay.
Right. And I'm like, no, I'm about to cry. I'm emotional. I'm like, y'all don't understand. I'm so in touch with the fact that grace and mercy is kind. That's like the best gift. Those are the two best gifts you can get, I think.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I'm appreciating life. And so now
Absolutely.
I have friends that are a part of my work life and a part of my journey. And I get to appreciate them across the whole platform. So for those of you all that are former workaholics,
Man.
I'm a spokesperson.
Well, your body, it'll let you know when it needs to shut down now.
Listen.
Your body, if you do not listen to your body, it definitely will let you know that it needs to shut down. And working out and being physically fit is really a way to help your body be able to go longer distances. If you want to be that workaholic, you got to prepare your body as well as your mind for that type of work, before that type of intensity. If you don't, then you're asking for everything to shut down, because you got to be able to do that. You got to put yourself in the physical capacity to be able to maintain, endure, go through whatever it is, whether it's a schedule like yours, being up till 2, waking up at 5, blah, 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 and all that stuff. It's a lot. What do you think about those people who, talking about sleeping, and business, and you hear a lot of stories of how people say, the most successful people sleep no more than 5 hours a day and all of that. What do you think about that?
I feel like the same way I feel about them saying millionaires make their bed up every morning. I feel like it's what you do. It's your pattern.
They say that?
Yes.
I've
you
never
make
heard
your bed
that.
up every morning?
I've never heard that.
So are you confessing that your bed is a mess?
I am not confessing anything. I'm just saying I've never heard that. I didn't confess one way or the other. I'm just saying I never heard that that was a thing.
So
I've never heard that.
I feel like it's about what works for you. You know, people, you need to rest. And I think if you're a high functioning individual, getting quality sleep, because you could sleep for 8 hours and it'd be garbage sleep, right? You're tussling, you're wrestling, you're just in the bed. It's like the thing is not happening. And so it's not going down. You know, you're like, I'm insomnia. But quality hours of sleep, you will jump out of the bed if purpose is calling you. And that's the difference. You know, we talk about entrepreneurs. I remember being up really early one morning, and I shot out some good morning text messages, and everybody's like, why are you up so early? I'm like, purpose is calling me. I'm in this thing. And for whatever reason, I woke up with that extra jolt, right? But I think it's all about where you are mentally, where you are emotionally, and if the quality of your rest is there. Because if you don't have quality rest, you're gonna need more. And your body, the fatigue is big. And I was thinking about this. So I'm a strategic leader. I'm thinking and outthinking and thinking about people's issues so much. I live in the world of intellectual property. I'm constantly pushing it out. And so my brain works probably at the same capacity as somebody, you know, slinging a hammer at steel, right? And so when you think about the labor that I'm in on a consistent basis, I have to rest my mind. I have to watch mindless TV every night. I have to turn the radio up really loud sometimes and just jam to the stuff that makes me happy. I have to do that. Like, my house is a club at certain times of the night. It's like, why is it music? Because this helps me like release. And so brings me joy. But yes, I think sleep is important. Quality, I don't know, 5 hours, 6 hours, whatever your body needs. Everybody's different. So I think there's a formula for it. I think you need to have a list for what you're going to do the next day. I think you do need to rest so that you're purposeful, so you're not waking up every few minutes. If you, like me, writing notes on your phone, like, oh God, I need to remember to do that. But those are the things that keep you triggered, you know, throughout the evening. But if you can get some quality sleep, that's right, Professor, that's going to take you to the next level, you know, and make your bed. There's an accomplished, okay, listen, this is my philosophy on this whole bed making thing. You know, you get out of your bed, you make your bed back because you have the experience of getting into a fresh bed again that night. Like, it's fresh, it's crisp, and it feels like it's something you can appreciate. See how you're looking at me, Al?
Well, I was just
that's the equivalent of appreciating the delicacies on the journey.
Yeah, right.
You're judging me.
No, go ahead. No. I'm just saying, because what you're saying, you get in this crisp bed and oh my goodness and right?
Yes.
But this could be something that could be said that if you have the covers already open, it's been getting cooled all day, and then you get in, the whole joint is even colder.
And you're laying in yesterday's.
How? It's had all this time to release.
Yesterday's function, like the form and function of the pillows is not right.
So you mean to tell me? Let's think about this. You think about this.
Good luck.
So if you have made the bed, you put the sheet back over, you got the comforter, and I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong, right?
You've
done okay, fine. All 35 pillows. Because that's what some people do. I'm not gonna name particular sex over the other, but anyway, some women do that. Anyway, but let's say you do that, right? And then you got to take all of them back off to get in to a bed that's now a little warmer or whatever, right? Versus you get up, you roll out, you leave the comforter off, you got the sheet ready, boom, boom, you get out, you get back, you come back home, the bed is nice and cold because the AC been hitting them sheets for real. Like, you know, this been getting up in there.
Pocket has been bubbling.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just it's waiting on, been marinating on you all day. And then you get to come home, you get in the bed, it's just nice and cold and cozy. And now you wrap the sheets back, boom.
That's an experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, my therapist says everyone should have their own experience. So I support you in your experience.
Is that what that is?
No judgment.
I'm just saying.
My professional says you should have your own experience. I feel like if that works for you, I think that's amazing. And your rest as well. That's good.
That is so funny. Oh my God. That is so funny.
I mean, everybody to each his own. But I did hear that one time though, seriously, like, The wealthy people they make their bed in the morning.
I never heard that.
Oh my God, it worked for my kids too.
I need
Let me
to
tell you about them make their bed.
So they got the joints all tight and everything. They got them all tight and everything. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
That's quick, but it's so funny because with a lot of stuff, and I always say this, there are always so many tests and polls and results and analysis and reviews and surveys
Right.
for all types of different causes, and you can make an argument either way all the
For
time.
everything.
Like it's
for
so,
everything.
So at some point it becomes so diluted that it doesn't even make sense anymore.
One of my favorite. I feel like we're having this is a healing moment maybe for everybody today, guys. We're getting some comedic responses here, so I'm glad we're entertaining you. Like this is serious business. Polls I don't like, but one of these people must go. Polls or which food must go when you're looking on social media. I'm like, who had time to think about this? Cut these little pictures out of fried chicken, collard greens, right? I'm like, this is crazy, like this stuff, but I love it though. I do love when I want to be entertained on social media. I feel like my feed is the dopest, and I have comedians that are all up and down my feed, and they know who they are, and I'm rolling. But there are moments where you're like, who sat down and had the mental capacity to package this? What time of night was this that this was going down? What was happening? The other thing, so back to your answer your question, we can argue anything. And especially a very strategic and savvy woman can argue anything.
That's just a woman who likes to argue. What is that, bro?
Skill set.
That's all that is.
Our ancestors established this for
my
us.
goodness. No, that is absolutely ludicrous.
I'm just saying.
Except for what you want to eat.
Well,
see, exactly. Don't get quiet now. Except for what you want to eat. Now it becomes nothing. You got crickets, right? Like, I mean.
Well, no, because I have probably the same answer. I'll be like, well, can I find salmon on the menu? Because I'm good.
Really?
Or a great salad. But there are those moments where you really want But
the question is, what do you want to eat? Like making all these options. Yes. That's a question.
I'm gonna know.
Deserves a specific answer. You got me sound like a nice. You couldn't talk yesterday. I feel like you got a
specific
that part
answer.
That word. Yeah, you got a specific answer. It's a question we need to answer. So
because you don't want to commit too soon.
What? It's a meal. What are you talking about?
But I may see something on there that looks even more amazing.
All right, see that's what we're talking about, right? It's just arguing. All right, we gotta take a quick break, y'all. We'll be right back. You listen to the Smart CEO Thursdays right here on the Cutting Edge and Edge Radio Network. We'll be right back in a few minutes.
We work our whole lives to support our families. With one accident or illness, it can all be gone in an instant. Now there's a smart, affordable way to protect your family. Go to findhealthbenefits.com and discover low-cost life insurance for as little as $2 per month. Add to that a tax-deferred annuity that can help you protect your assets and grow your money for retirement. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. A critical illness can strike without warning and wipe out your life savings. In fact, it's the #1 reason for bankruptcy. Find Health Benefits offers an affordable solution. Get up to $50,000 if you get cancer, stroke, or a heart attack, giving you the peace of mind to focus on getting better while the plan helps you to pay your bills and medical expenses. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. 66% of seniors spend more time shopping for cable TV than Medicare plans. Most say because it's just too confusing. Laws change every year. The wrong plan could cost you thousands and prevent you from seeing the doctors you want. Introducing FindHealthBenefits.com. Save time, save money, see specialists without referrals. Go to FindHealthBenefits.com or call 877-235-6094 for this informative brochure.
Society is on the edge. Let's bring them back. Edge Radio, because truth still matters.
We work our whole lives to support our families. With one accident or illness, it can all be gone in an instant. Now there's a smart, affordable way to protect your family. Go to findhealthbenefits.com and discover low-cost life insurance for as little as $2 per month. Add to that a tax-deferred annuity that can help you protect your assets and grow your money for retirement. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. A critical illness can strike without warning and wipe out your life savings. In fact, it's the #1 reason for bankruptcy. Find Health Benefits offers an affordable solution. Get up to $50,000 if you get cancer, stroke, or a heart attack, giving you the peace of mind to focus on getting better while the plan helps you to pay your bills and medical expenses. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. 66% of seniors spend more time shopping for cable TV than Medicare plans. Most say because it's just too confusing. Laws change every year. The wrong plan could cost you thousands and prevent you from seeing the doctors you want. Introducing FindHealthBenefits.com. Save time, save money, see specialists without referrals. Go to FindHealthBenefits.com or call 877-235-6094 for this informative brochure.
Society is on the edge. Let's bring them back. Edge Radio, because truth still matters.
We work our whole lives to support our families. With one accident or illness, it can all be gone in an instant. Now there's a smart, affordable way to protect your family.
All right, welcome back, y'all. You're listening to The Cutting Edge right here on Edge Radio Network, 1540 AM, 101.7 on the FM dial. Feel free to give us a call at 281-587-1540. That's 281-587-1540. And it's our Smart CEO Thursdays with none other than Ms. Kyra Hart. We're the Smart CEO founder.
Hey, Al.
Again, okay.
What's up?
All right.
Some people are joining us for the second half.
That's true too. I guess I'll give you
I'm
that.
trying to create a signature
You're absolutely right.
greeting for you.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely
Doing my
right.
best.
You know, okay, I got you. So we were just talking about a lot of little things that we've seen as happening, one in the voting polls and stuff like that. Before we went on break, we were talking about women can't answer a specific question as it relates to what is there to eat. Ladies, I would love to hear your feedback on that.
That's
So
not the
feel free
question.
to give
Is
us a
not
call.
what is there to eat.
No, I said, what do you want to eat?
Oh, okay. I was gonna say those.
Either way, you can't answer it. So you got to get you struggle with answer the question. Like, yeah, eat. But
Watch your friends that struggle like this. 'Cause you gotta pay attention to your friends that stress out.
I'm just saying,
stuff like
and then in the break we were talking a little bit about, the polls and all that kind of stuff, and you were talking about how voting, and then how it seems like the system, when you go in to vote, you're led one way or another. If you say you're a Democrat or a Republican, and then why is it that you can't, split your ballot and vote how you want to vote? I think that's true. But a lot of times you can. I've seen some, some ballots, where you can select. And then, sometimes, a lot of times they have I don't know, but in your experience, but the button where it just says vote all Democrat, and you just push the button.
Right.
Everything must be
They're just so each election is a little different. I think when you get to certain levels of primary or certain levels, certain federal votes, right? They want you to pick a party.
Yeah.
I remember when we were voting, when President Obama was on the ballot, and I want to say the primary election. I was in Detroit at the time, and it was big, and they were like, vote the black slate. And the black slate is anybody black on the Democratic Party, so to speak.
Oh, wow, okay.
And so it was vote the black slate. And so I remember thinking about that. And at that time, for me, that was probably one of those moments, those years where I was very much so in tune with who was on the ballot. I was paying attention to their position, what they were saying, what their beliefs were, their family structure. I was paying attention to more detail than I typically would. And I was very informed, and I felt like, I'm just being honest, because I really hadn't paid attention.
I thought,
had thought about it. Yeah, and so I was like, Do I want to vote the black slate? Why? Why does that mean? Why is that my option? And I don't know. I was just thinking about it like that. Now, I don't remember if I voted the black slate or not, but I feel like it was our way of simplifying the voting process so that we could make sure that those that we thought had our best or greatest interests at heart were on that ballot and they would get the casted vote because it's easier. We're trying to educate our voting community.
Right.
So I get it. But I just started really trying to break that down, trying to make sure that I had my own beliefs around who I was saying yes to, because that's my vote. That's my one.
You're right. You're right. I was laughing because you talking about the vote and all of that. And I'm sorry to take this to another place, but it just made me think about the upcoming election and what's going on, especially from the president's standpoint. This is not whether or not, what side you're on. Okay. But do you think it's going to be a huge turnout for, voting? And do you think president, the guy who's in office right now will return as president?
Okay, I'm going to answer part one, which is I think that our social awareness and our consciousness is calling us to the polls. Mm-hmm. Whether you believe in the power of your vote or not, I think there's this social pressure and commitment for all of us to show allegiance to the process and to see what's possible. I think we're back there again, unified. I don't believe that our unification is going to dissipate before then. I don't believe it's going to dissipate really at all. I think we've revolutionized. So I think.
So you think from the turnout that we had in 2008, you think it would be greater?
I think it would be that or greater, and that's really my hope. And it's really because we're so much more. We're pulsating with cultural awareness right now. The microaggressions are so visible. The issues are so prevalent and they're real and they're still very raw. And we're facing it on such a blasted front. Like we can't hide from it, and we're still in a pandemic. So we're just socially aware. So I think that is going to lend itself to us being more diligent with the vote. Whether or not I think 45 will be 46, man, it's between me and God. Every night, we look, God, only you, God, only you know.
And I was just, I was laughing just a second ago because I was thinking about the question I wanted to ask you. Then I was thinking about a recent interview that he did, and he was talking about this IQ, this cognitive test that he took, and how he was saying Joe Biden should, take it, and it was just so funny to me, and I was just like, man, this dude just seemed like. He just doesn't seem like he doesn't, to me, and this is my personal opinion. I don't know what everybody thinks, but he just didn't conduct himself like a president. He sounded like a high school kid that was like, I took this test, and then they asked me these questions, and they said cat, dog, something else, and then they came back and I've taken this test.
Yeah, IQ test.
Yeah, they do that and that, come back and ask you whatever. He was like, I did great at that. I don't think anybody's ever did better. It's so funny.
Have you ever seen?
It's just funny to me. I can't even lie. It's comical.
It is, okay. Have you ever seen alter ego photos where people will do themselves, and it's them in their hyper alter ego, and it's a stark contrast. You be like, dang, I never knew you thought of yourself that way, or someone helped you figure out your cast, how you were going to be casted. That's what I feel like I feel like we're dealing with the alter ego, this character daily. And if you could peel back layers, I think every layer would say ego. Ego. I don't think there's a real layer of humanity under there. If it is, it's very small. And this is my personal opinion. I feel like as much as you exalt yourself, I can go biblical, but we understand your self-exhortation is not necessarily the path of the righteous. We should pick another plan. I'm just being honest. Anytime you toot your own best, I'm the best you ever will ever know. I'm the best at it. Is nobody been better? I said this better than anybody could ever told you. I recanted my statement the best, better than anyone could ever recant. No one's ever corrected themselves as good as I corrected myself. You start thinking about, I don't know how many adjectives you really have that you can apply to how amazing and incredible and phenomenal you are.
That's
That's
funny.
my point.
Oh, yeah, it's just funny. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see as all this stuff plays out,
Yeah.
how this stuff unfolds come November,
Yeah.
and to see where the country is as a whole and how the country responds to everything, the management of the COVID situation, dealing with this cultural situation, and now with reports of, not even reports, truth that they're sending federal officers over to Portland, Oregon. They're out there. The mayor was out there getting gas.
Oh, I just saw that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy when you see. To me, to see stuff like that is like stuff we would have thought you would see in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
Like we would always be here chilling and see on the news like, oh man, they rioting, they blowing up this country.
I can't believe that's happening over there.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, wow. And it's happening right across the way from us, like right now. Like
right here.
It's,
There's a tension, I'll be careful with this. There's a lot of tension around, really how we've revolutionized in general.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that none of us really know the power that we have as a collective. And I'm talking about Black and brown people specifically. We don't know the power that we have as a collective.
Mm-hmm.
We've never fully experienced it. And what's happening now, when you go back, let's go back to that really sobering moment where you were showing me Aunt Jemima trying to change to the table. When you think about the thrust and momentum that comes from understanding you now have a free mindset, and as a people, you get to actually revolutionize and come together because you've been justified. This is a justification that's happened, right? And it's not that we needed to be justified, but now the world knows, right? It's kind of this kind of covert operation that's happening. It's like, oh, we just pull back the veil. Oh, now you can see it. So now we're going to take our rightful place, and we're going to really be unapologetic about revolutionizing our voice and our messaging. I still say pick up your pen and be a novice for the situation and write down what's going on. But my point is, we've never felt the full thrust of our power. We've never felt it at this, especially at this pace. So I think there's this understanding that there is another layer, there's another rumble. The momentum is behind us, and it's like a snowball. It's going to continue to manifest itself in different ways. We talked about this. We're going to execute in our lanes, but there's a force of power and authority around being able to really understand how important your voice is, how important you are as a person, and how impactful you'll be for generations to come. Like we own the process for creating the communication. We own the process right now of what's in the history book. We own that language, what they write in history. That's us. We're the ones that are actually producing now. We have to produce well. And I think that's big. Like we realize how many more tools we had than they had back in the day. How much smarter, how many more resources we have access to. I think that's a big thing. And here's the other piece that's super powerful. We're not afraid to collaborate across lines. We're not afraid to work together with all people.
Right.
So this is not us against them. It's an understanding and an awareness. It's not that. Like we really do work together and we know how to do it.
That's all. I think, that part about working across lines and, other side of the aisle, if you will, or whatever the term might be, has always been our position. It's always been, the Black and brown, I think, side of things has always been that. But I think now the huge difference in that is that the folks on the other side of the aisle, if you will, who may have been ignorant, not from like ignoring, but ignorant because they didn't know, or maybe they didn't care to pay attention to as much, now have seen, like you said, when we pull back that veil, like with now they're open, their eyes are open and they are receptive.
Yes.
So it's one thing is to have your eyes open, but it's another thing not to believe what you see. Right?
Oh, that was deep.
Absolutely.
That was deep. Say that one more time.
It's one thing to have your eyes open.
Yeah.
It's another thing not to believe what you see. So you could see, I could see, this dog crossing that street, but if I don't believe the dog crossed the street, then what I saw doesn't matter.
That's so powerful.
Right.
I was having this conversation with my workout buddy. She was breaking that down. We were talking about how thoughts become things and the manifestation of your thought. But that's true. And what was the thing that kept us enslaved? Our mind, right? All along. It still does in different ways. I had a whole rabbit hole conversation with myself yesterday in between clients. I'm like, how did I get that this rabbit hole in my own head. I said, because I'm talking to myself.
The fact that you just sat here and admitted that in front of everybody, that you actually had an in-depth conversation with yourself. See, I mean, I don't know.
Went down a rabbit hole.
Okay, clearly.
And then I said what I was thinking out of my mouth, and I was like, girl, that does not sound brilliant at all.
What?
You should stop talking.
I'm a little concerned.
I'm just being honest. I'm not going to act like I get it all right. I'm not going to act like I know it all. I'm not going to act like I don't have those.
Oh, because
really?
No, but go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
See, this is what happens when friendships go bad. You want to find out what happened between Kyra and now. We're no longer friends. This thing is over. So but seriously, like you find yourself in that disposition. And so none of us get it all right, but we were talking about thoughts becoming things, just like knowing what our power is when it comes to being free in every area of your life, right? And in your community, and free to make change, free to create change, free to be a catalyst for it. But we can get so far in ourselves that we really start believing these thoughts that haven't been matured. And we have to be careful. And so that's what I meant by going down this rabbit hole. I'm in an immature thought for too long in my own head, and I didn't have a filter to bounce it off of because I'm quarantined and I'm working from home and I'm working with clients. I'm not having that conversation with my client. And then I had a conversation and I said it out loud. I was like, ooh, that wasn't smart at all. You sound real silly. And I had to say, how did I get there? I'm just real sensitive to myself, right? I'm aware, I'm very aware. So I said, because I was talking to myself. And I did not have anything bigger around me for this thought to help it mature and become something better, or to counteract it with. Right. It was unproductive. But that's how people fall into depression. I wasn't in a depressed state. In our heads, and we've not talked or fleshed it or found people to help us elevate our thinking. Think big with me. That's a big deal. And we get stuck. And so my challenge is to everyone, which is like to push past that, know how free you are, and understand for yourself, be aware of who you are. Right. So, we play with it or whatever, but I'm super aware because I spend a lot of time being very unaware. So it's like, all my lights are on now. So now I can see everything, right? And so now I'm very aware of how I feel, how people make me feel, how thoughts make me feel, how my business decisions make me feel. And we talk about feelings. But that is an inner knowing. And so my feelings are attached to my intuition and all these other things, right? So in order for me to feel confident, you still have a feeling, feel confident in how I move or how I think. It has to be directly tied to a belief. And then that's what anchors it. That's what matures it. That's what gives it life. And it starts to become function, action, and part of my life. So none of this is disconnected. None of it's disconnected. And we can make jokes about everything and debate everything. But how you think that's what you become.
True.
That's what manifests.
True, absolutely.
Your thoughts manifest into real life.
Absolutely. So bringing it back to when we were talking about, the black and brown side, willing to work with others and play well with others. I think we've always wanted to do that. And my point was, about them being more receptive to everything as well now, because they see it, but they also are willing to actually believe what they see and understand that, they've been talking about this for a while now, because I don't have this distraction, that distraction. Kind of like back to your point, you didn't have certain things to bring a bigger conversation, whatever. Like you didn't have something to me to distract you from this, you really could kind of pay attention to it. So you've seen a lot of responses from corporations, from companies and stuff like that, which brings me to in the sports world, there are it's calling for a lot of teams to change their name. And the most I'm not the most biggest, but I guess the biggest, the case with
that moment.
The case right now that stands out the most as it relates to that would be with the formerly known as Washington Redskins. And they have just recently come out stating that their name will be the Washington Football Team temporarily.
Yes.
The response around the country and in corporate America has been swift, to dealing with these cultural issues that this country has had a long. I'm not going to say that. It's not been swift. but because of what's been going on, they've responded swiftly because of in this moment.
Right.
Let me say that.
Absolutely, I agree.
And so I guess, my question is, why do you think they're moving so swiftly now versus any other time? Because the Redskins have dealt with this for a while. It's not the first time they've heard this. It's not, it's not new to them. It's not like this just came about 4 months ago or anything like that. But why now? And they acted so quickly. One, because the season is coming.
You're about to answer your own question.
But it's just crazy. Like when the dude was fighting it for so long. But I mean, what do you think that means?
What's it tied to, Al?
Oh, it's always tied to money. But I mean, it was tied to money before. He didn't care.
Okay, it was tied to money, but it wasn't tied to money on a social platform like this. Number one, heightened awareness. Dollars are moving. You don't want to comply. You don't want to be complicit. Coca-Cola put their dollars on ice for a minute. That was good. That's my shoulders off. Coca-Cola put their dollars on ice for a moment so they could rethink their marketing strategy and who they were investing in. Mm-hmm. They did that.
With Facebook.
So when you think about the dollars, the advertising dollar, which is major, it's going to be tied to that. It's obviously going to be tied to also to player loyalty. I think there's also this connectivity to the humanistic piece. I'd like to believe that they thought about the human aspect of being tied to a team that's been called the Redskins forever. I'm Native American as well. I don't know that I was necessarily offended, but I'm also not 100% Native American and living in a tribal community and owning the full experience of being a Native American, right? So my understanding is make the change that should have happened, be bold enough, gather all the resources you need to put some support behind it, do it. It's tied to money, we all get it. It's also tied to the social climate, we get it. You don't do it, you're gonna be ostracized. You're gonna be ostracized, and I don't think any brand wants to figure out what that cost is for not making a change. Because consumers, we are the leverage. We're the lever. You're at the casino, pull it. We're what's coming out on the other end of this thing. And so if you don't understand that we regulate the timing and the temperature and the jackpot that comes out of that thing, then you've missed it altogether. As a consumer, we regulate it.
Do you think, especially the African American community, is becoming more and more aware of that?
Yeah, I love it too. I love it. It's challenging me though too. My older sister, she was like, Kyra, I'm finding myself in the aisles at the grocery store, like looking up this product's brand's disposition on Black Lives Matter. Like she's changing brands on spot. Wow. I'm not necessarily that intense.
Wow.
But I'm thinking cognitively and consciously about where I shop and where my dollars go. I am. And I've always shopped, and so I love the small business community. So I've always shopped in support of the small business community. But I think for me, larger brands and places where I have loyalty because I like their product or the experience when I get there, I do think about that. I was like, oh gosh, I don't want my favorite place to end up on the list, right? But if it does, it does. If it does, it does. And I have to make a decision at that point. But yes, we're smarter as consumers. We're smarter as investors.
Man, that's powerful because, to me, from what a huge majority in my experience of the African American community has always been very, very loyal to a brand, to a fault. Right, like,
man,
you know what I mean. Like we stay down with you regardless. Because even so let's take it. let's unpack that for a little bit. Like like you think about some of these high end brands like Gucci and stuff when they H&M when they were having their issue when they put out that ad with the young boy.
That was a while ago.
And then Gucci was coming out saying they didn't want Black people to buy their stuff and blah blah blah, and you will have some Black people that still, regardless, will still, man.
Go to the mall, and I've been to the mall, several malls. Go now because you have lines outside of stores now, especially high end stores that have a very low capacity for shoppers. Go look and just see who's in line. That's your data. It's a live data pool right there on the spot, and you can see the stores that have the lines, and as a consumer, Are we shopping the brand for image, or are we shopping the brand for loyalty, or what are we trying to do? That's something we have to ask ourselves. I was just having this conversation with one of my colleagues, Shanice, last night. We were talking about brand loyalty, image, identity. You know, do people from the Midwest perceive image differently than people in the South or Southwest or whatever? Like, what were some of those dynamics? And I think there's just this, there is a loyalty. And as a people, we are loyal to brands to a fault. You know, we'll eat at the same soul food restaurant, even if they dog us out every time, we'll still keep going because it's our spot. You know, or now where we're like, listen, it's 7 of y'all. I have options.
Right.
Let's make a decision. You know, experience. We blacked out whatever Blackout Tuesday date was, and I was
my birthday.
Was your birthday? Okay. So I went.
That you forgot, but go ahead.
I did not forget your birthday. I was gonna say.
Go ahead.
So you like tagged me in 13 posts about your birthday. I didn't forget your birthday. So I was like, oh wait, I was telling my kids, I was like, we had to buy black tonight. We were going looking for burgers, and I was like, let me find the best burger joint in Houston. I get there. I'm not calling the place out because I do want to try it. I get there. They closed at 4 o'clock.
On a Tuesday?
It was 3:45 when I got there. The no more orders. I was like this.
You know what you got? That's crazy.
Walk.
But that is so true.
My feelings were hurt. The pictures looked
true.
great. I was willing to. It was a dive too, because I was like, this is about to be good.
Man. Oh my God.
So my son, my fellow Aquarian, he's 11. So where are we going? And he calls out the place. I was like, yep, call it in. And so I was like, dang, I was really trying to throw my weight around today. I was going to just, whatever it costs, it costs. So, I don't know. That was my experience. I'm not saying that all black experiences are like that.
No,
but that was that moment.
But you know, we gotta be able to speak to it too now. Like I'm not saying let's not call.
Right,
I'm not saying call them, but we gotta come on now. Like
we gotta do right.
But not every company, every restaurant, or every institution that you get is black. There are a lot of folks that take customer service very high as a high priority.
Yeah, yes.
But it is funny on the funny side of things. That's how black people do. Folks don't like to work, do they? Like they don't.
I don't know why that was their hours that day. I don't know, but the girl, when she came out, the woman, she was just like, "Are you picking up? Are you placing?" I was like, "I'm placing. I feel like it's about to be bad news." And she was like, "Yeah."
How you close at 4 o'clock on a Tuesday?
On a Tuesday, and I was just like, "Dang."
Man, how people do that stuff be funny to me.
That was tight on me. I had egg on my face.
I bet you did. That is so funny.
I really tried.
My God.
But
all right.
I buy black all the time, so.
We do.
I buy small
business. Good. And that's what's up. Well, tell us what's happening today on Smart CEO Thursday.
Yes, Smart CEO Thursday. So tonight at 7 p.m., Dr. Kwanzaa Pinckney, MD, emergency doctor. She's been on the front lines. My girl, she's also DJ Code Blue. She's the dopest ER physician you've ever met. And we are going to talk about, I know, you need to tune in.
I thought she was about to be mixing on live. She's about to do a versus.
I don't know what she's going to do. She is so dope. But she's on the front line of the crisis. She's been giving us insight from the front line from ER. But she's also really big into the space of meditation and making sure that you're caring for yourself. And so she has a unique way of delivering her services and also sharing kind of her perspective on life. And so we're going to dig into the layers. She's super dynamic. The layers of Dr. Kwanzaa, that's what she goes by. So you guys join us tonight. I'm thrilled about it. And I think it's so important for us to be able to really touch back and make sure that we're really connecting with ourselves, because in the midst of COVID, and if you're on the front lines, you still have dreams, life goals, all this stuff. You can't put it on hold forever.
Okay. So where do they find
Smart CEO? Our private Facebook group on Facebook, private CEO, private